Let's jump on in here, take a look at these opening hands. Pretty good looking one there for Eli Kassis. And Stan Cifka's is not too shabby. Got some ramp, some removal, and of course, the famed kitty car. Or are we going with Cadillac? Is it a Cadillac?
I like Cadillac.
All right, let's go Cadillac.
It's so good. It's so good. The first time I heard that, I was like, okay, I'll be calling it that from now on. But no, two great hands. Two absolutely great hands. Stanislav Cifka being able to go Wolf Willow Haven into Azika's Chariot right away is really impressive and tough for a lot of aggro decks to deal with.
Yes, indeed. As we get the Temple down, a Mystical Dispute Scry to the bottom. Forest is the play here for Eli Kassis, following it up with Tangled Florahedron as a creature. And basically saying, well, I've got ramp of my own, so take your Wolf Willow Haven and play it.
Man, we're getting cat bus from chat. Come on, chat. That's not a very good pun. Cadillac is so much better. Like, we gotta that's not even great.
No. I disagree wholeheartedly.
And you have cats, so you're the tiebreaker.
I do have cats. Yeah. You know what Eli has? He's got a pig. He's got a medium pig. It's not big pig, it's not little pig, it's just medium pig. Yasharn coming on down, but don't scoff at it. It's a 4/4. It's respectable.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy to me that is a card we just never really saw being played in Standard. You know, we saw this just dominate in Sultai with all these sacrifice decks running around. But it never really made its way into Standard, and it seems crazy to me because 4 mana, 4/4 body, get 2 cards out of it is already extremely good value. It just never found a proper home.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like it's got a real home in Standard right now. I think your assessment of it being an Eli card is correct for the most part, but who knows? Maybe there's something that it's good against in the tournament this weekend, as Cat Car, Cadillac, Cat Bus, the Meow Machine, I don't know what else you want to call it, but Azika's Chariot is now on the board along with 2 adorable kittens.
Yeah, and I know as I say that these are such Eli cards, of course, like Mass Vandal is going to take down Azika's Chariot and just be unbelievable, or something like that to make me eat my words here.
Something along those lines, indeed, as Stomp is threatening harm upon this poor little feline. Will we see a crew here in response to take care of Yasharn? Tough decision here for Stan.
Yeah, it is pretty tricky because I think the one thing Stan is thinking about here is what Eli Kassis does have, and that's land Giant Killer to just take out the Chariot. We'll see if Stan wants to fall for it.
He does not
doing it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So 1 cat down, no crew available. In comes Yasharn for 4, down to 16 goes Stan Cifka. And Eli Kassis has got quite a few lands in hand there, courtesy of Yasharn. I'd like to follow that up with some more action.
Yep, absolutely. And the same can be said about Stanislav Cifka's hand. Like right now, Stan is just in the Emergent Ultimatum waiting room, and it's that big when it's cast on a somewhat evenish board. It doesn't. You can even be a little behind against these adventure style decks, and just the combination of Valky, Kiora Best the Sea God, Alrund's Epiphany, or throwing a Shadow's Verdict or something like that is just so devastating for these mid-range decks that it's really hard to come back from.
You know what my favorite combination is? Vorinclex, Tibbles, minus. I'm going to have all the cards in the graveyards now. Of course, it's better later on once things have, died and gone to kitty heaven, et cetera, et cetera. But, it's just like, oh, cool, you have every single card you cast earlier, and you're going to play them all again.
Yeah,
great.
No, that is insane. Just the interaction with Vorinclex, being able to double the counters right away to get to 10 loyalty on Tybalt and Ultimate right away is so powerful.
Yeah,
so powerful.
It's crazy. Worse is when it's Ugin, but we won't talk about Ugin. He's not showing up that much this weekend. But there's a very good draw for Eli Kassis in Showdown of the Skulls.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was an absolute amazing top deck. Probably best possible for Eli.
Just a great way to filter through the deck, get some more action, and get some counters on all the creatures, which Heartless Act will have a tough time with, but before any of that happens, we're going to get rid of Yasharn, the biggest thing on the board. That doesn't hurt us when we target it. And in comes the Bone Crusher Giant for another 4 points of damage.
Yeah, so I like what Stanislav Cifka set up, just taking last turn essentially kind of off. Just a Heartless Act on turn 4 is not ideal, but getting Yorion into hand is better than casting Cultivate to me. If you top deck Emergent Ultimatum, of course, you're going to have a little bit different opinion there, but just having the safe play of Yorion, get 2 more cats with blinking out Azika's Chariot, I think that is the safer, better play.
That would be the play if we hadn't just found a Masked Vandal with a creature in the bin to now get rid of Azika's Chariot. So Stan's going to be a little bit sad about this.
Wow, did I call this? The Eli card, of course, just looks amazing when I call him out for it. So shocked. Hey, I called this a few turns. Eli always trying to prove me wrong.
Is a limited all-star. Okay, that card is good.
Exactly. In limited.
Hey.
No, absolutely great here. That was an amazing draw.
So now what does Stan do? Because this is a very awkward spot to be in where it's like, okay, cool, I've got my big old bird serpent hanging out. Sure, it can block, but I have nothing to do with it. I can bounce Wolfwillow Haven, but big whoopee, what does that do?
Yeah. Right now, Stan is getting very close to the I need to draw Emergent Ultimatum or I'm going to lose phase of the game, which is quite frustrating. If he had like Heartless Act here, it'd be pretty cool because you put the Wolfwillow Haven on the temple and then you kind of get a free mana off it, and that would be okay. But, with that Giant Killer in hand, Eli Kassis is going to be able to push this Yorion aside and have quite a dangerous attack.
Oh, yes. All right, let's see. How does Eli sequence this turn? First things first, we're going to get Edgewall Innkeeper down. Good old Eddie. Bone Crusher Giant getting nice and big and juicy. Got a Lovestruck Beast there, too.
Yeah, everything coming up Eli so far here. Showdown of the Scald, and honestly, just this Naya Adventure deck in general, from what we've been seeing all day, Eli, is just, it seems like they never run out of gas, and partly that's Showdown, partly that's Innkeeper, but when you combine both of them, it's just disgusting. They just
with our powers combined, yes, we will draw through our library, and
all of the cards
will die. Okay. That's basically how it goes, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yorion blocking. What will we see here? Nope, we're not going to save the Bone Crusher Giant by getting Giant Killer in on the action. Happy with the trade.
Okay, well, that's a 7-drop. It's not as good as Emergent Ultimatum, but it's definitely something.
It's a hexproof something.
Yeah.
So, haha, Giant Killer, you cannot kill the big squid.
Not killing the Kraken with that, that's for sure. But there is a world here, and a pretty face-up world where Lovestruck Beast can just become bigger. You can play 3 spells, and with that Showdown ability, you can just load it up on Lovestruck Beast, maybe try to go wide. But that Cure of Best of Sea God will give Eli Kassis a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, yeah. Especially tapping everything and then being able to steal something on the 3rd chapter. Not in the clear yet is Eli Kassis, as he's trying to push through for the first win here in this matchup. But with Edgewall Innkeeper down, every single adventure creature is now drawing an additional card that can be an additional counter.
Yeah, and with 2 Lovestruck Beasts, you just have 1 mana, make a 1/1, put a counter on something, which is just so very powerful right now. So we're seeing this Lovestruck Beast try to outclass the Kraken. And just imagine if we had the Cadillac still in play, you could attack and make a copy of this Kraken. So once again, Masked Vandal was just such a disgusting draw as a nice one-of that Eli put into his list.
Oh, yes. Fire Prophecy as well can take care of this other kitty cat. Put something back in hand, perhaps a land.
Oh, that was good.
One less blocker. 9/9 now.
So if we can get 2 more counters on that Lovestruck Beast, it would force just a chump block with an 8/8 Kraken. I think, yeah, it looks like we're going to be a little short of forcing that block. So, if we attack with everything here, Stan could just block Innkeeper, go to 1 and survive. So the block isn't forced here. And then you do tap down Eli Kassis' battlefield. And let's say you top deck, a couple Olren's Epiphanies. You can just win this game out of nowhere. So this does give Stan some outs if he does decide to block an Innkeeper and go to 1. But it will involve him getting pretty lucky off the top.
Let's see if luck is on Stan Cifka's side as he decides which creature he's going to block. I'm all for the kill the Eddie approach to stop any further card draw coming here for Eli Kassis. And like you said, just hope to get lucky. Unfortunately, no cycle, no card draw, nothing like that to help him out. He is just relying on the top card of the library right now.
Love it. Play to win, don't play not to lose. You're not surviving another attack phase anyways, so you might as well be at 1,
All right. We got one more shot, though. So big old Kraken gets to swing on in. 8 points of damage, down to 12 goes Kassis. Stan Cifka is on 1. And we also have the Wolf Willow Haven that we can crack, I believe. If there's enough mana left, so that is another blocker.
Yeah, I believe it's 5 to crack that. I could be wrong.
I think so.
Yeah.
So in comes the pup.
All right. So, yeah, it doesn't look like Eli is going to have anything to just win on the spot. I guess, just kidding. Can play this Lovestruck Beast and top deck like a Bone Crusher Giant to just end this game out
it's going to be a stomp. Let's just call it now. It's a stomp. Here it comes.
It has been all day.
No, wait. The card draw's gone. It's fine.
Oh, that's right. Innkeeper
it's fine.
Died. That's
right. So Stan, realizing that Bone Crusher Giant is the MVP of the day, plays around the top deck stomp.
We know it's on top, though, for next turn. We'll call it now.
Yeah. And look real smart later when that happens.
Exactly.
So at this point, Eli Kassis is just dumping everything down on the battlefields, going, okay, sure, you want to take one of my things? Which one would you like? Finding the Old Gods. That's not what you want to see.
Yeah, no, not being at 1. I mean, you can, take a Mammoth, binding away, that 9/9 Lovestruck Beast. But just way too many creatures here. Eli just went super wide on this battlefield. But something like a Shadow's Verdict or, of course, the Emergent Ultimatum here would have really made this a game. Shadow's Verdict cleans up every single one of the creatures. And Eli wouldn't have that much gas in the tank to restart.
Could he go for the win here at all? No. Doesn't have enough power, right? It doesn't get haste, unfortunately. If it got haste, that'd be real cool, because then you yoink one of the creatures. 3/3.
Yeah. Or the train wreck situation of, your opponent has a questing beast in play, and you can take that.
That would have been crazy.
Sea gods, yeah.
So unfortunately, not going to be able to attack with whatever is stolen. Binding the Old Gods can kill one of the creatures, but just not going to be enough with 1 life to give, and plenty of creatures going face of the next attack step. So let's take a look at the sideboards. What's coming in? What's going out?
All right. So for Sultai up top, Klothys is okay. It's really tough to deal with. Mass Vandal is okay if you see a bunch of Cadillacs that you want to be taking down. Elspeth Conquers Death can be okay. But for the most part, Eli seems like he is kind of pre-boarded for this matchup, kind of anticipating to play it a lot, or maybe just actually hoping he dodged this matchup. None of those sideboard cards seemed insane to me. They just all seem mediocre. But yeah, he decides to bring in a ton of cards here and get Ooza's Prophecies, Great Henge, and a Giant Killer out of there.
And on the other side of things, Stan Cifka bringing in the Elder Gargaroth, some removal, and Polychronos, which we've seen become a regular feature in this deck. Takes out the card draw and Behold the Multiverse, Duress, and the Mystical Disputes.
Yep, not too bad. Just kind of taking out the cards that are the main deck anti-control cards for just anything that kills creatures, as well as the big body of Elder Gargaroth here. Good sideboard plans from both players.
Well, let's see if we'll actually see an ultimatum go off. I don't think we've seen one this weekend yet, have we?
I don't think we have. I feel like I haven't even really seen anybody.
I haven't seen the card,
yeah. Are they banning it from coverage, or?
Oh, no. There was one. I remember now. Yes, I did see one. It's very rare, and you scare it off if you clap too loudly. So just, yes, be very quiet around the ultimatums.
Yeah, that's right. It was the casting the front half of Velki from Avant Flock. That's the one I saw.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Game number 2 underway here. Eli Kassis is up 1 as we get things underway with an island. And Heart's Desire is going to be the first thing that Eli Kassis does. Cultivate here off the top of the library as Bark Channel Pathway. Going to come on down. Willful Haven will jump onto the island and get the ramp going and started here for Stan Cifka, who is hoping that his deck plays nice this time around.
Yeah, kind of the exact same draw that we saw from Stanislav Cifka last game, trying to get this turn 3 Azika's Chariot down, and very, very strong play. Hopefully it works out a little bit better for him than it did last game.
Yeah. I like the Chariot a lot. It's just, I'm thinking it's mostly for the mono red or the mono white matchups.
Yeah.
Just because the creatures kind of match up a little bit better. But when you've got, a turn 3 5/5 coming down, it's like, hi, you're a lot bigger than I anticipated to deal with today.
Yeah, it doesn't attack into Lovestruck Beast very well, but it's just an overall good card, across the board. It's just really tough to play against. If your opponent leaves up mana, which, they could kill the Chariot with, you just don't animate it, and you attack with some of the cats, and then if they tap out, you get that free crew. So it's just really tricky to play against, and you can put your opponent in kind of a tough spot.
Yeah. Here comes Lovestruck Beast, trigger on Edgewall Innkeeper. What do we draw off the top? It's a Fable Passage. But importantly, we have the mana available to get out a turn 4 Great Henge, unless Stan Cifka top decks Binding the Old Gods.
Oh my.
Oh, this is a very, very good draw.
Wow. Unreal. Now you get to make a copy of a cat, attack through the Lovestruck Beast. Oh, that is exactly what Stanislav Cifka needed there.
Yes, indeedy. So in comes Esika's Chariot. Not going to get blocked by the 2 1/1s left behind. In for 4, down to 16 goes Kassis. Leaves behind a blocker for one of the 1/1s. Is able to pass the turn back, feeling rather comfortable with this position right now, I'd imagine.
Yeah, that was a really great draw that Stan needed. If we didn't get that binding and Eli just got to drop the Great Henge, even if he didn't have another creature to play right away, with Stan's hand, he did not have a single answer for that. So that was a huge moment in this match.
In comes Bonecrusher Giant. Not going to cost a stump there. Just gets the creature or gets the card draw off of Edgewall Innkeeper and finds a Showdown of the Skulls. Now, we've seen that card run away with the game. Let's see what it can do this next turn for Kassis. If he goes for it, could get the Great Henge down as well.
Yep, could go Great Henge next turn. Once again, doesn't really have that creature to play right away. So it's not insane. The Great Henge is actually... It's still a powerful card against Sultai, but Sultai can actually go over the top of that deck with the Ultimatum, with Emergent Ultimatum, if Stan's able to find one of those.
It's kind of funny how we're seeing the progress through the ultimatums. It was the Temur Ultimatum, or the Genesis Ultimatum, now it's the Emergent Ultimatum. When are the other ones going to get their time to shine, huh?
Yeah, right. I played a lot of the Genesis Ultimatum decks from last Standard, and then I just naturally kind of found these Emergent Ultimatum decks just really fun to play. And the only difference between them is you just always hit a good ultimatum when you cast Emergent Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Versus sometimes with Genesis Ultimatum, I feel like I'd get those 5-land piles far too often.
Oh, yeah. All right, so things looking pretty even Stevens here between these players as we head into the mid-game. Eli Kassis is up a game already. Stan Cifka looking to claw back here and find Emergent Ultimatum. Where are you? Is probably what he's thinking. With the Bonecrusher Giant down, he won't be too happy to send the cat car into the red zone just yet. So first things first, we're going to fire off the Cultivate, get a few more lands down, and maybe we'll see Yorion brought to hand, otherwise saving the 3 mana for the Zagoth Triumph cycle.
I think I actually do like crewing here, just with the Great Henge in mind, that if Bonecrusher is traded, the Chariot really got its value already, making 8 power and dealing, 4 damage, I believe, which is already just pretty strong on rate. And if it also prevents a Great Henge from coming next turn, that's kind of all you can hope for from that card.
Yeah, good call. Always got to think that they have Great Henge in hand, and as soon as that thing comes down, it's just double issues now when you've got Edgewell Innkeeper drawing cards as well as the Great Henge. So good call there by Stan Cifka, and Eli Kassis very happy to take that trade.
And now Stan set it up pretty nicely where he can cycle the Zagoth Triumph at end step to have 2 looks at one of his many 7-drop spells that he's looking to draw here.
All right, Kazandu Mammoth off the top here. This is going to make the Great Henge very cheap indeed.
Yeah, you can just cast the Great Henge with these 2 Fabled Passage this turn. Once again, doesn't really have the creature to really capitalize on it, but outside of that, with only having access to 5 mana, Eli Kassis was only single spelling anyways this turn. Mm-hmm. So that was a great pickup.
Yeah. Still pretty darn gross indeed, being able to get the Great Henge out for 2 mana. And unfortunately, Stan Cifka thought that bullet was dodged, but along came the cute little elephant. Ooh, hello.
Wow.
Hey, Shadow's Verdict. How's it going?
It's not a 7-drop, but still pretty powerful here. With the Great Henge already coming down, this would have been a lot better if that creature was just, let's say, a Lovestruck Beast or whatever, where you weren't able to actually cast that Great Henge right away, but still a solid draw.
All right. Cast with Death Touch coming on through. Can halve Eli's life total here, but not that the Naya Adventure deck really cares about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too shocked to just see Eli either take it or maybe, one or 2 block with the Great Henge gaining 2 life this turn, 2 life next turn. He's not too worried about his life total.
Yeah. Down to 10 goes Kassis. In comes Yorion to hand, and we're going to cast that.
Okay. Not too bad. It looks like we're just going to have a extremely good Showdown of the Scald's turn with how much mana Eli has access to. Oh, wow. A little short on white for that.
Yeah, needs that.
Yeah.
Next turn. It's fine.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, this is interesting. If we get Showdown down, then it looks like we can play Klothys and actually get a trigger off of it from the Great Henge, because I believe that would be 7 green and red mana symbols with Showdown. So that's a cute interaction you don't see all the time from that card.
Did you just call a God of Destiny cute?
Good point.
Klothys is not cute.
Fair. And with the awkward lands in play here, it actually cannot even cast it right now. So not ideal with having 4 forests.
You never know when you might need the 4th forest.
Yes. Okay, not a bad draw. We got 3 looks at another ultimatum here. Kind of need it.
All right, Heartless X.
Okay.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll take care of the Mammoth.
Looks like Stan just wants to go aggro here.
I'm kind of for it, if the Naya deck isn't doing the big old beatdowns and there's no, suspicion or concern about Unleash Fury, Kazel's Fury. They're both Furies, right? That card combination from the Naya decks, like we've typically seen. Mm-hmm. Why not just swing?
Yeah, exactly.
Whee!
Beatdowns, take 10.
Yeah. Down to 4 goes Kassis. I love it.
And Eli doesn't have a ton going on here. To get him back into this, we can gain 2 up to 6, but Eli's going to need to string together some creatures to block these 2/2s. He can survive the Yorion, and even if he can top deck, or I guess he does have another white source to play ECD, but we need some creatures to go along with it.
Yeah.
It's a tough spot.
Yeah, I think Stan Cifka is going to take this one home pretty comfortably. Unless we find some of the creatures that make multiple creatures in and of themselves, like a Lovestruck Beast. Hey!
Oh, that was huge.
Hey, how are ya? What's up?
that had to be the best possible because you really need one or two creatures, and that is definitely both.
Mm-hmm. First things first, let's gain some life there, up to 6. Here comes Heart's Desire.
Okay.
Follow that up with the Love-Struck Beast. Unfortunately, having to put a counter on the 1/1, but c'est la vie.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be attacking for a while here. And then, yeah, then we have the ECD here to deal with Yorion. 2 blockers. Eli can survive this attack. That Love-Struck Beast was maybe the only draw here to actually keep him alive.
Like maybe a Scavenging Ooze, but I didn't think they have enough. I wouldn't have enough mana to do that. But yeah, definitely getting 2 creatures down. Elspeth Conquers Death, taking care of Yorion. And next turn we have another Showdown of the Skulls as well as Clothis to hopefully help him stabilize.
Yeah, unreal. Ooze wasn't even enough. You could gain 2 and have 1 blocker.
Mm-hmm.
And I did think he took those on as well. But yeah, just the perfect draw off that Love-Struck Beast.
And another C is going to get cracked. Let's see what we can find. Oh, hello.
Okay.
Would really like some extra turns.
That is yep, that's enough. That's enough because we can attack with 4 creatures here, get 4 damage through, cast Alrund's Epiphany, fly over for the last 2. That was enough to force a game 3 from the 2 leaders of Rivals here. We wouldn't have it any other way than to come down to 1 game, right?
Wouldn't have it any other way indeed. Alrund's Epiphany off the top of the library here. Taking a look with the Omen of the Sea. Stanislav Cifka just making a few last checks, and thankfully had enough mana up there as well. Didn't go for it, though.
Excuse me? Was I? Oh, that was an upkeep sack.
Oh, okay.
Oh, brutal. Okay, that's a very different story. That's a very different story.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Okay. Right, rewind. Showdown of the Skulls on the stack again. Yeah, that was an upkeep scry. I thought I had enough there because it's highlighted, but that was just for the Foretell, unfortunately.
Yeah, brutal. I guess you would have it any other way if you're Eli Kassis. He's trying to finish it in 2 games instead of 3.
All right, so I think Stan's still looking pretty good here, as we are about to see a mass of creatures and counters dumped down on Kassis's board.
Yeah, the problem is the combat math has changed. It's no longer you can get 4 damage in and finish it off with flyers, and now the Alrund's Epiphany is also a little bit more expensive.
Yeah.
We can still cast it with all of Stan's mana right now to just kind of just draw an extra card, but you're not getting in that extra point of damage now. So, I think this one's falling out of reach here outside of another Emergent Ultimatum to try to catch Stan up.
Yeah. Yeah, this is looking very dicey indeed. So 2 cats going to jump in the way of these 6/6s. Not often you see the Heart's Desire token the same size as the Love-Struck Beast, but here we are.
Yeah, this Showdown just puts on such a fast clock with Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 of Showdown on the Skulls. It's unbelievable.
I mean, is this just Shadow's Verdict territory now? Just get rid of everything and be like, okay, let's just reset this and hope you don't have anything that kills me straight away.
Yeah, it's either that or you wait for Elspeth Conquers Death to bring something back.
Yep.
If there is just only 3 drops or less in your graveyard, then you're fine with that and try to Shadow's Verdict the next turn, I guess. But really, it doesn't matter too much with the Great Henge in play and still some gas in the tank. Eli's going to be playing creatures until the end of the game, whether there's a Shadow's Verdict or not.
Yeah, that's the one thing this deck does really, really well is just rebuilding once the board is wiped.
Mm-hmm.
As we see that happen right now, Shadow's Verdict taking care of absolutely everything on the battlefield. There they all go into exile. Will we see Alrund's Epiphany sent into the Foretell zone?
Yeah, we've got to look back on that Omen play from Stanislav Cifka. You know, scrying in your upkeep, if you don't have 7 mana left, Maybe you're cutting yourself out from actually just top decking one of the 7-drops. I don't know if Alrund's Epiphany was the card on top or not, but it definitely feels bad if it was.
I think it was on top because he sent something else beneath it behind to the back of the library. So.
Oh, that's so brutal. Then if you didn't sack that, then you win the game and force a game 3. But brutal situation.
It ain't over yet. As we see Eli Kassis drawing even more cards. Just look at the disparity here in the hand sizes. It's just like, oh, cool, I have 7 cards in hand. Might be at the point of discarding sometime soon.
Yeah, honestly, this Naya Adventures deck has just had 7 cards in hand every time we have featured it, it seems. It's got so much value.
Hashtag value, indeed. So now it's kind of at the point where Kassis is just like, okay, well, I'm just going to dump my creatures down. I mean, what more is there to it?
Yeah, you definitely just, keep playing a ton of stuff. If you don't want to overextend into like an extinction event or something, you can drop Clothis. But yeah, it's going to be a tough one here for Stan.
For sure. So relying on that Alrund's Epiphany hanging out in the Foretell zone to find an Emergence Ultimatum or something that will help him win the game on the spot. As we just see even more creatures dumped down, counters added, cards drawn.
Just how's the world?
Yeah. He's going to have to discard. It's great.
Yeah, and I like this disciplined play from Eli Kassis. Instead of jamming one more creature, just leave up Giant Killer just in case Emergent Ultimatum was cast from Stan. Then at least you can, let's say, kill the Vorinclex before maybe a Tibalt would come into play or something. Like, not that is really even enough to get him back, but still a nice play to cover all your bases from Eli's side.
Alrund's Epiphany, cycle, land off the top, 2 birds left behind. What do we draw in the second turn here? Taken by Stan Cifka. It's the I got the word wrong. Ultimatum, finally. I was so excited I forgot what the freaking card was called. Yes. Let's go.
Is it all right? Too late. Let's find out. So Alrund's Epiphany seems like the almost auto-include that you pick in every single one. The other haymakers here, Curiobest the Sea Gods, Vorinclex. We know Vorinclex is not going to work out too well. And Stan's got to be aware that, you leave open 3 mana. That's really the main piece of interaction that Eli has at instant speed. So I wouldn't be too shocked to not see that one. But what do you get outside of Velki?
I mean, it'd be tempting to go for more creatures just to get some stuff down on the battlefield. Yeah. But, going for the 3 usual suspects, I'd say, in Curiobest the Sea God, Alrund's Epiphany, and Valky / Tibalt.
Yeah, one of the classic picks here, being able to cheat Valky or cheat Tibalt into play by choosing a monocolored card, but then getting to recast it as Tibalt is a cool little piece of interaction.
Cheeky indeed.
Yep. For the most part, you just almost always put Alrund's Epiphany back, but definitely thinking out all the situations. There's definitely some scenarios where it's not correct to do that.
Yeah, I like sending back the Epiphany there. Rather, force them to send the turn back than get another turn to find something even more ridiculous.
Yep. Yeah, I think Stan made the perfect picks here. Let's just see if it is enough. I believe Stan can do a really cool play here of exiling the Great Henge with Tibalt and then just casting it right away with your 8/8.
I mean, that would be awesome. I would love to see that. So please, one order of exiling a Great Henge, sir. Yes. Oh, no. Darn. Alas.
Like can probably cast that Mammoth as well, so still a strong play.
But imagine if we had a Great Henge now, Corey.
Yes. Imagine the possibilities. All right. Okay. This is definitely a game.
If we don't get it this time, Curiobest the Sea God can steal the Great Henge.
Yes, in a couple of turns. Yep. Yeah. And stop combat for next turn and stuff. So Stan definitely top decked that Emergent Ultimatum at the last possible moment, and it definitely might be enough to keep him in this game.
definitely is. Look at Eli's hand now, though. Look at all those lands. Ew. It's not looking super hot. But we are going to draw a bunch more stuff. I think that was another land.
Yep, I think so too. Flooding out a bit here.
Mm-hmm.
At any point, Eli has the, start over button of just casting Ox and drawing 4 new cards.
Yeah, sure, why not? Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's take a look here and see what we can find. Well, ideally, we find something that we can cost. Could have cost Clothis.
Yep, kind of past that time of that 2 damage being, super good. Yeah.
There goes our hand. Have 3 new cards.
Okay.
Nice.
Oh, man, that Mass Vandal has just been insane. Eli is like, okay, you're making fun of my Eli cards. Let me show you how amazing they can be every single time I draw them. This taking out Cure Best the Sea Gods is just phenomenal right now.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, Eli
And there's a Dranis Magistrate. A little late to the party there, bud, but nice. Oh, what an excellent draw there. Good job, Ox of Agonis. Good job, Moss Vandal. You got it.
Now just got all those lands out of the way, so now Eli is only going to draw gas off the top.
You can also kill Tybalt's.
Oh, man.
That's just so brutal.
Yeah, just a stomp for Tybalt, too. Wow.
At the end of these broadcasts, we usually go, this person gets the play of the day, or this moment was amazing, or, things like that. I'm giving it to Stomp today, because how many games have we seen ended on the spot by a good old kick in the face?
No kidding. Today it was like Bone Crusher Giant was in every red player's hand on turn 2, and then it was the 10th card drawn every time when it was just very, very key. So, yeah, card of the day, Bone Crusher Giant for sure.
Oh, my goodness. And here we're going to see a triple block just in case of one more interactive spell and a counter on the 9/9, as we know that there is a Stomp in hand, and we know it is going for our little Cosmic Imposter here. Tybalt is taken care of.
Pretty interesting there, too, because with that +1/+1 counter, Eli could have saved Yashar. Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
The roller coaster of this game. Here we go again.
But the Draenith Magistrate.
Oh, yes. The roller coaster.
Can't do anything.
Oh, my. Eli just had the perfect turn last turn to shut down Cure Best the Sea God with Mass Vandal, to shut down Emergent Ultimatum with Draenith Magistrate, to kill Tybalt with Bone Crusher Giant, all off a random 4 cards from Ox of Agonis. Just could not have written it up any better.
Oh, my goodness me. Eli Kassis just had an answer at every single juncture of this matchup, and you can just see Stan just unable to do anything about it. Here comes the cavalry. Everyone's swinging on in, tapping down that 3/3, and all Stan can do is watch.
Unreal.
Wow. My goodness.
What a game.
I feel for Stan at this point, but just everything coming up Eli. Just absolutely everything going his way at this moment.
And I just love that all of these extremely high-valued cards here just seem to be one-ofs. There is one Draenith Magistrate, and why do you need more when you're just casting on the perfect time?
Going through your entire deck. I would love to know the statistics of how many cards the Naya decks are actually going through on average.
Yeah.
Just how many do you see? It's ridiculous.
No kidding. Yeah, you really churn through your deck.
All right. Omen of the Sea, what can you find for Stan Cifka? Because he is in dire need here.
What can Stan draw here? Something like Eliminate and then Ultimatum, but you can't even Heartless Act the Magistrate.
Okay, that gives a turn.
Okay.
All right.
If we had a land to be able to attack through this Bone Crusher to, create a little bit more of a clock, maybe we can do something here. But Eli just has Giant Killer and Bone Crusher for some instant speed interaction as well.
This mammoth is not long for this world if there's a land. So stopping the upkeep, will we see the Omen's Scry? What can Stan Cifka possibly find here? Does he have another Shadow's Verdict to get him out of this mess? It doesn't kill all the creatures, though. Oh, it's a land. Oh, no.
Yeah, Stan did everything he could, put him into a position where he could, resolve these high-impact emergent ultimatums. But, man, the constant value of the Great Henge from, like, turn 5 or 6 was just a little bit too much.
Yeah, too much pressure too often. And it looks like Eli Kassis is going to take the victory here. Can Stan even survive this next attack with 3 blockers? We know that the tappers in the Giant Killers can take care of 2 blockers. Oh, man.
Yeah, it looks like we could stomp one of the flyers, and even that, you can block Ox, you can block Bone Crusher Giant, and that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's going to be lethal. And now by playing the land, you can also Giant Killer Mammoth as well. So this is over.
Yep. It's going to be all over here on the next attack, but we're not going to even get to see it as Stan Cifka concedes, going down 2-0 to Eli Kassis. Will it all come back to that moment where he scried? I believe that the Epiphany was on top.